Waka. Welcome back to another Champions League roundup. Last night we had two games that weren't really going anywhere, with Arsenal beating PSV 7-1 and Villa beating Club Brugge 3-1. Those games were not really that interesting. We did have Lille and Dortmund, who went into tonight's game with a 1-1 draw. We had Atletico and Real, who played a close game at the Bernabeu, 2-1 for Real Madrid, so that tie could go either way. We are going to start off with the Lille Dortmund game. That was the early kickoff. Early in the game, there was a shot from Jonathan David straight at the goalie. Kobel didn't really do well with that one. It went between his legs, and it's 1-0 for Lille, 2-1 on aggregate. After the early goal, Dortmund did fight back into the match. Meunier took out Girassi, penalty for Dortmund. Emre steps up and he scores 1-1 again. Dortmund kept on pushing after the penalty goal. It's 10 minutes later and Bayer gets into the penalty area and shoots the ball in the top right corner. And it's 2-1 Dortmund. Lille did try to get back into it. They had a little chance here and there, but at the end it stayed 2-1 and Dortmund go through to the quarterfinals to face Barcelona. The next game is Aston Villa versus Bruges. Bruges, they didn't really stand a chance in this game. They went down to 10 men fairly early in the 17th minute, and with a 3-1 deficit, you just know Villa is going to go to the next round. Asensio, who is on loan from PSG, has had a great loan so far. He scores the 1-0. Couple of minutes later, it's 2-0 from Ian Maatsen, and then Asensio makes it 3-0. Easy night for Aston Villa. Through to the next round to play PSG. So that will be interesting. The next game is Arsenal versus PSV. 7-1 in the first leg. Obviously, Arsenal was going to change the starting lineup. They played with 7 other players. It wasn't really that interesting. The game itself, it did have some end-to-end action. It was a lot more open because Arsenal wasn't at their best. PSV was just going for it. Zinchenko scores the first goal after just 6 minutes. Pass from Sterling to Zinchenko. Zinchenko gets into a great position, shoots the ball into the far corner. Amazing goal. He doesn't celebrate because he was on loan at PSV for 1 season. Then PSV comes back into the game. Perisic had all the time and space, hits it into the top right corner. Bad defending from Arsenal, and PSV get back into this game. After the 1-1, Raheem Sterling gets the ball at the right flank. He crosses it in. Declan Rice heads it onto the goal. And it's 2-1 for Arsenal again. In the second half, both teams weren't great. They had some chances here and there. Nothing too major. Raya did have a couple of saves to make. But in the 70th minute, Jorginho has the ball on the midfield. He turns into danger, loses the ball. One pass through the middle of the Arsenal defense. Raya comes off his line and the ball gets chipped over him. Great goal, 2-2, and that's how the game ends. Like I said, Arsenal was already through. It was easy. And all they have to do now is just wait for the Atletico versus Madrid game to finish, and they know who they play in the next round. About Atletico Real, in the first minute after kickoff, Atletico just plays the ball around. They go on the attack. The ball gets fisted in, and Gallagher makes it 1-0 just within the first 30 seconds of the game. 1-0 early goal for Atletico. 2-2 on aggregate. So the game is on in Madrid. Both teams do go for it. They have some chances here and there. The biggest chance is when Mbappe goes on a run and gets fouled. Penalty for Real Madrid. Vini steps up. He misses the penalty. He shoots it high and wide. Such a big player, but such a bad moment. Both teams do go for it. They have some chances, but they don't score. We're going into extra time. In extra time, both teams do have chances, but it looks inevitable that we are going to penalties, which does happen. In the penalty shootout, a couple of interesting things happen. We start off with Mbappe shooting the ball into the bottom right corner. For Atletico, the first taker is Surlet, also into the bottom right corner. Then we have Bellingham come on. He puts his penalty in the bottom right corner. And now we have Julian Alvarez. He tries to take the penalty. He slips. In his slip, he hits the ball with his left foot and then shooting it with his right into the top left corner. The refs see this two touches, which means the penalty is cancelled out. Miss for Atletico. We have Lucas Vasquez stepping up for Real, trying to make it 3-1 at the time, but he has a very weak penalty. Oblak saves it. Next up is Llorente for Atletico Madrid. He hits the crossbar on the top left corner, which means it's still 2-1 for Real. If Rudiger, who steps up now, scores this penalty, he will put Real through and they have to face Arsenal in the next round. He hits it. Not a great penalty. Oblak does get a hand on it, but it still goes in, and Real Madrid is through to the next round. That was the Champions League roundup for today. The quarterfinals are all set. Some interesting games in the quarterfinals. Obviously, we have Arsenal against Real Madrid. We have Bayern München against Inter. We have Barca versus Dortmund. Paris Saint-Germain versus Aston Villa. See you guys on the next roundup. Peace.